at the desk. To finish off today's episode, we present the history of Valentine's Day. Over to you, Brandon.
Thanks, Emily. February, the shortest month of the entire year. A month so tiny that every 4 years the calendar gods say, hey man, here's an extra day for you, just so it doesn't feel left out. But in this tiny little month falls one of the best or worst days of the entire year. Of course, the good and the bad depends on if you're a songbird of love flying around with your partner or a hopeless romantic flying around in a parasocial relationship with Miles Teller or Dua Lipa. Valentine's Day is, no pun intended, a holiday that has a love-hate relationship with the public, but the roots of Valentine's Day stretch down a long time ago to ancient Roman tradition and early Catholicism, and its story is just about as argued about and arduous as a relationship can be. But that's why I'm here, to give you a lovely summation of the history behind the holiday. The true roots of Valentine's Day lie in mystery, as scholars don't know exactly when the middle of February began to have been celebrated as a season of love. However, one of the earliest noted celebrations of that season was a pagan celebration known as Lupercalia, a festival that honored Lupa, the she-wolf of Rome, who was said to have suckled either Romulus or Remus, the founders of Rome, or Faunus, the god of fertility. The celebration was not exactly a celebration of love with chocolates and roses. It was rather weird. Priests would skin a goat for fertility and a dog for purity, and then dip their hides in sacrificial blood and gently slap the women in the streets to bless them with fertility. Now, the Roman women did welcome this, but after a few hundred years of bloody animal slapping, 5th century Pope Gelasius declared February 14th to be known as St. Valentine's Day. His effort was largely to Christianize the festival and turn more towards Christ and away from the gods of old and also bloody animal slapping. There also were many St. Valentines in Catholic history, so it's rather unclear as to which St. Valentine's the day was to honor. However, one of these Valentines had an especially big heart. He lived in the 3rd century AD under the Emperor Claudius II, who apparently was an incredibly vile and ambitious ruler, and he was so committed to military control that he banned marriages in Rome to prohibit his men from being distracted. St. Valentine, who was a priest, secretly married many of these different lovers who came to him, and when it was discovered what he was doing, Claudius was sentenced to death. And in his final days, many of the couples who he wed would come and visit him in his cell. You feeling lovesick yet? No? Perfect. It actually wasn't until many centuries later that we find definitive proof of Valentine's Day being considered a holiday for love. The first finding was from 1375, written by an English poet named Geoffrey Chaucer, who declared that the day was for every fowl who cometh there to choose his mate. It doesn't sound very romantic to me, but I digress. Now, it wouldn't be Valentine's Day without a handsome little guy with a bow and arrow. And I'm not talking about Legolas from Lord of the Rings. I'm talking about Cupid, of course. Cupid was based on the Greek god of love, Eros, which is also where we get the word erotic from. He was said to be able to control the romantic relationships of every man and women in Greece, and he apparently was an immortal and incredibly tall and handsome man. And he actually wasn't spoken of as a chubby little guy with a bow and arrow until the Hellenistic period, a depiction that has been recognized up to this very moment. We still see Cupid as that. He's on the back of cards and boxes of chocolate everywhere. Today, Valentine's Day is the largest selling day for florists worldwide, with an estimated 250 million of these little guys being sold every year and 36 million pounds of chocolate being sold every year. Now, unfortunately, I don't have the estimated percentage of that chocolate that's bought for the lonesome singles every year, but I would wager a guess it's at least 2%, give or take, definitely me this year. But Valentine's Day isn't just for couples. It's a day for love, a day steeped in ancient traditions, rewritten by the Catholic Church, reflected in a tragic tale of a brave priest, and polished off by the great poets of the medieval era. It truly is a holiday for all the singles and the taken, because hey, everybody loves something. Back to you, Emily.
Thanks, Brandon. Sadly, that is all the time we have for today. In the meantime, stay updated with ATD on all of our socials, and let us know what you want to see us cover next. I'm Emily Koza, and we will see you back at the desk next week.